you really kind of managed to barely keep the team alive and keep it going, but it's still alive and it's still going. And in that case, things are going well. Not so well for Rodick, who met with who he thought was Darkside Hal, and using a freshly acquired, highly illegal acid gun, killed Commander Melnus, formerly of Imperial Intelligence. So, where we begin today, I think also Reyla was having some Force visions she may wish to try to refresh her mind on as we are beginning the session. Where we begin, Rodick Concord is standing over the remnants of Commander Melnus, this guy who refuses to turn back into Hal, no matter how many times you shoot him. You've melted his arm off, and you're in the CO's quarters. I think you managed to retrieve some items in here. It looks like a command, like an encoded command cylinder, which you think probably contains the codes. And I think maybe you're coming down from the adrenaline, but you've got like this itch on the back of your neck, and like you're trying to scratch, but your armor's in the way. What are you doing, Rodick? How are you adjusting to this situation in this now very messy office?
I am going to still be thinking Hal had to have messed with my mind in some way, but now I'm wondering if maybe he's starting to make me see other things and he's still around here. Maybe I just killed a zombie or something. I probably am going to search the body for any ID or keycard codes or anything along those lines.
Okay. Yeah, so you search the body. Let me roll up a corpse. You find a credit stick on him.
I'll probably just toss that aside, sadly.
You find a blaster pistol, like an Imperial issue blaster pistol. He's wearing like a uniform similar to what he's wearing in the picture, but there's it's sealed, and he's wearing like an environmental helmet on it. Looks like it's a very light sort of environmental gear, very high tech. He's got a data pad. He's got a couple glow rods. He's got a med pack, and he's got some mesh tape.
Not sure what trickery this is, but I'll probably take the med kit and.
He's also got a comm link. Looks to be encrypted.
Let me mark this stuff down here real quick. I'm going to put it in my text inventory, and I'll put it in a minute. So I have the data cylinder. I'm definitely going to take the probably the comm link and
the data pad.
The data pad, the mesh tape, and
there were glow rods as well. A single med pack.
Yeah, I'm taking all of that. I'm leaving the weapon and the credit stick. I have no need for
okay. Yeah, you chuck it away.
Yeah, I'm just pulling things up. I figure the thing that this person had to be a zombie. This is Hal's doing. He's still around here. I'm trying to stay alert.
Yeah, you check the like the data pad. And I think he's got like an ID tag on him too. You wanted to search his ID. It says Commander Melnus, Imperial Intelligence. What branch is he with? I have this written down. Imperial personnel. Yeah, he's with whatever the hell Black 6 is.
That's interesting. If I access the data pad, does it have anything of interest to me? Potentially about a virus?
It is unfortunately password protected.
The grumbles. I need to find signal. With that, I'm gonna say and look at the comms. The comm signal. Is that encrypted?
It is an encrypted comms device, but it's like it's outgoing encryption. Like you can use it.
That's one potential thing. Taking there's probably no ship PA control in here, so I'm
Well,
thinking I'm gonna.
it's the captain's quarters. There definitely is. As stated before, power is on here.
Can I find any kind of a music player in this place?
Yeah, so his personal quarters are accessed by a door behind the desk. Like you're basically in a large ante room that's obviously his working office, and then there's a couple bookshelves here and there, all now kind of scattered. Some of them splashed with acid, and if you look through the open door, which Melnus came through, you can see living quarters, fairly large, definitely well decorated, well done, like a capital ship officer's living quarters.
I'm gonna head into the living quarters, look for either a music player or a video player, anything that can be set on loop and make noise.
Yeah, you can find a like a holovid set.
Okay, I'll probably throw whatever holovid he might have nearby into it, and then I will take it back out to the PA system.
Yeah, so you throw a holovid in there and you turn it on.
I turn on the holovid, crank the volume, and then I want to open a PA to the front areas of the ship that are away from the area that would lead me that's in my way, essentially.
So I think like you hear a voice like somewhere in space 2,000 years ago, and it goes into like a really corny sci-fi saga. Like who on earth listens to sci-fi in this day and age? But yeah, it starts up and you hear like the screaming of fighters and laser blasts and stuff. You turn that up all the way.
Get up and I'll stick that on the front decks, and then I'm gonna start messing with this comm signal to see if I can hail the group in the back.
Okay, so yeah, you get the encrypted comms the Melnus had. It looks like it's got several preset channels. One of them happens to coincide with what you remember. I guess you don't remember off the top of your head, but as you're looking at it, you're like, oh, that's the code the Imperials gave us to contact them, and net codes. Do you contact them, or do you want to try to enter the comms for anyone in particular?
I'm gonna try to see if I can hail sector rangers if I solve our comms frequency instead on it, because my comms system fried out.
You're the general comms net that you guys use in particular. Your crew.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably hail out. Is anybody still out there?
Yeah. So I think everybody else is in the med bay where Hal is being treated. If you don't remember, he had amputated his own arm with his lightsaber, and you guys had set him up with the auto dock to get him treated. And all of a sudden, Reyla and Bunko, your comms start going off. It's kind of low volume. You haven't used this frequency. You've been using like a shared frequency with the Imperials in your unit or in your current group. But yeah, your standard sector ranger, the far ranger communication net starts going off, and you can hear Rodick like yelling maybe a little bit disordinately in the background, like, can anyone hear me?
Probably be giving like sector ranger code signals for like code 317. Anyone respond?
Yeah. So do either of you reply? Mm-hmm.
Farseeker, in the captain's quarters. You need to be on the lookout. Hal's still out there.
I think there's like a moan from right next to you, where Hal is passed out.
Yeah, your boyfriend attacked me with a lightsaber. I'm gonna sound very pissed off, and I'm gonna say that somehow he survived a nuke to the face as well, and he's still out there. It's messing with my mind. Keep your eyes open. Knew I shouldn't have trusted a Jedi. Just starting to like the guy. The Jedi are slippery. God knows what he could do. We only got legends. Be careful. He's out there and he's dangerous. Yeah, signal online. I've got a password I need to have cracked. Well, somebody's got to go out there and get him. I've got a data pad here that might have some answers on it. If I can get back to you. We've only got to get past 3 hordes and 1 psychotic murderous Jedi. Might not be his fault. Maybe the infection's getting to his brain. Oh, you think I'm not? I'm going to laugh for a second, but I've only been stabbed, shot, exploded, and bit in the last 4 hours. I'm trying to get this done and get back to you if I can make it. If not, at least get a cure back for everyone else. Do you have directions from the captain's quarters to where I might check next? I'm going to nod and say that, well, perhaps I might be able to get some of those codes. Check in with your companions, and I was just about to say that, actually. I believe he was a zombie. Unfortunately, I had to take care of him.
Do you like cut your eyes over towards the corporal and Private Gore, who like currently cannot listen in on this conversation because it's happening inside of your helmet?
I'll just say, to be honest, I think Hal was screwing with my head a bit, but either way, I have his data pad, any information he'd collected. I don't know how long he'd been dead. You need to put him in quarantine right now. You have a major threat on your hands, Miss Farseeker. Don't let him fool you any more than he already has. He's a snake in the grass. Just when I was starting to appreciate him, I was going to go look for the bastard after he fell. The next thing I know, what do I get for my trouble? He tries to stab me. Just watch your back, Farseeker. Don't let him out of your sight.
Does Bunko say anything during this conversation? Like you can clearly hear this as it's going on. It's only you three on the comms net.
I'm letting the boss talk, but in my mind I'm thinking he's going cuckoo.
Check in with your Imperial contacts. See if they have a good idea of where I should head from here. I'm ready to maneuver whenever you give me the word, Miss Farseeker. I'm not sure I have anything, but I do have a data cylinder and a data pad that may contain answers. Of course, they won't do us any good if we don't have somebody that can hack into the things, and... Is Agent B on the line?
Yes, I'm here.
I'm gonna say that, no offense, I don't trust your computer skills as much as signals.
I don't trust you as much as other people.
Feel as mutual, Agent B. But at least you'll hopefully take my warning seriously and not trust the snake in the grass that you have sitting in your med bay right now. Don't let him stab you in the back.
How did it just try to blow up a quarter of a Star Destroyer?
Well, when you're attacked by a Jedi, you do desperate things, Agent B.
I guess so.
I will stand by here until you can tell me where I should proceed to next or what route I should take from this position. I put a audio signal up in the front half of the ship, hopefully to lure at least some of the mobs away. I'm going to shrug and say, well, at least they won't have more clamoring in our direction. Check in with your Imperial contacts. Let me know where I need to go, Miss Farseeker. I'm standing by. And let them know about their man. I don't think I can bring him back. Do they need me to bring back proof?
Are you looking down at his like acid severed hand?
I think they need a head.
It's like looking at my vibroblade.
I think at this point,
Of course.
okay, so yeah, he says something going on. He's still alive. That's great. Did he find any evidence of the commander?
Yes.
What?
It's just like a pause. I think he maybe exchanges
Commander
a look
was
with
a
Gore.
pretty good man.
Actually,
It's
Gore.
a shame.
Actually, Gore. He was kind of an asshole.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Like he was from Imperial Intelligence, not from
That guy
your
didn't
unit.
tell us shit.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
Gore's just saying the politically correct thing. Good man. We all liked him. It was like thinking to throw a party after
I just Commander Melnus, to give you a little bit of background, Gore. You're part of Lieutenant Jirak's company. You're normally stationed aboard the Gladiator class Star Destroyer Prosecutor. Like I guess it's about a month ago now, Commander Melnus and like a small crew from Imperial Intelligence arrived aboard and basically commandeered your unit and kind of took you out here. And he's been kind of a dick the entire time. So you can have said whatever you wanted to say.
Okay.
We'll continue. Well, I think the lieutenant said he was trying to get someplace back in engineering or a cargo hold or one of the labs. I don't know. This place is huge. But honestly, he was kind of secretive. Him and his buddies from Section 6 or whatever the hell they called themselves. They once it was clear that we were stuck here, they started to do things on their own. Yeah, I think there's like another pause. Like maybe he exchanges another look with Private Gore. He's like Darth Vader.
I
You
don't
can
know
almost-
any other Vader.
Yeah, I think you almost can see Corporal Calorn like gulp beneath his helmet, and he's like Sith spawn. And then like he realizes like what he just said, like that's a common curse in Star Wars, but then he realizes what he just said, and he's like, I have no idea. I mean, we found some notes on something called Blackwing in the medical wing, but like nothing important or nothing conclusive.
Maybe it's information on this virus. It may be
If it-
helpful to us.
If it is, it could be what we were looking for.
Do you have anyone who's skilled with computers? He holds up his big claw hands. These not designed for computers.
I see.
I can
Well,
try to hack into it.
I think Calorn says, how agitated? Yeah, he shakes his head and he's like, "Oh no. I was hoping that maybe his people were a little bit more resilient. Some people who are infected by the virus or whatever it is, I guess you could say they start showing lapses in judgment, hallucinations. Severity depends really on the species." This seems an appropriate analysis of the situation. He looks over. I don't know exactly what sort of payload that beradium rocket had, but I can only imagine that it would have decimated anything nearby.
Yes, Iridium tends to do that.
I think, like, do you mutter under your breath, like, "This is why I've had it on order for like 6 months and people keep denying it." Okay.
Some
It
asshole
looks
bought him out of stock before I could get him.
it looks like he's stable, but he is the computer is saying he's definitely in like life threatening condition. Not only just from like the arm, but like definitely like virus detected, and it like comes up with a serial number, and then it's like immediately classified again, and it says like pathogen detected. Patient is highly infectious. Please institute quarantine procedures, and then it starts talking about his vitals and stuff. And it's very clear that he. I think like maybe as you're looking, Reyla, I guess give me a like a tech. Do you have like a tech medical role or knowledge life sciences or something? Okay, treat injury will work. Oh yeah. So I think you can tell, not only through that, but like maybe through faint trickles through the force that that he is highly infected. Like it is moving through stages. Like he is very advanced. You can see his body is starting to degrade, and it looks like he's holding himself together, or he has been holding himself together, like via use of the force. And it's like it seems like maybe if he wasn't, he probably would have like given out like a long time ago. I think you've heard Corporal Calorn mention that like this thing affects different species very differently, and it seems like Rodick was fortunate enough to be Iotrin, and Iotrin seemed to have like a very high resistance to this sort of thing. But Hal is definitely not going to be on his feet anytime soon. It's possible that you could try to revive him with some sort of drug, and maybe give him like a stimulant to try to get him back on his feet, but his condition would actually rapidly deteriorate. The computer is basically suggesting that you try to keep him sedated and here, although it's estimating that he will expire sometime soon. Like it apparently, like due to projections, he probably should be dead already. Yes. Yeah. As opposed to many of the other campaigns that I've run, this is one where like enough shit goes wrong for you guys that if you guys get a level up, if it's something that makes sense that you could take right now, you can take it right now. Like there's certain things that like obviously you need some training to explain, but like as long as you can explain to me how your level up is happening, I'll let you do it right now.
I think I actually got enough to level up, and I think I rolled my level and I forgot to pick a skill. I just remembered that. Holy crap! And
Whoops.
2 weeks to do
well,
it too.
I would think about that
I will
while
definitely think
Reyla is
about it.
doing this. Mm-hmm. Ooh. Okay. I'm gonna need to look up two things real quick while you do this. You can go ahead and roll it. I think he told you to. I think he told you to try to use it as a focus during your meditations. Yeah. So are you trying to do that or use vital transfer?
Spend a force.
Ah, okay. Let me look up here. Well, unfortunately, I can't even recommend a force point for this one. You're not quite there. That was a pretty low roll. So are you still going to do vital transfer? That would be 30. Okay. Yeah, I think you see his vitals spike, and then like the computer freaks the hell out, and then they start to even out a little bit, and like it starts recomputing its diagnostics. The computer's definitely not happy.
And it says sensor bug detected. Recommend debugging.
Yeah, it's like recommend diagnostic protocol 3 alpha, and his vitals definitely stabilize a little bit. You get the feeling that you definitely helped him a little bit, but the virus is still eating through his system. You also get the feeling that you weren't like a million miles away from understanding the virus, but you also were not close. So yeah, unfortunately, that's a no-go for this point. So I think Calorn says, not sure what else we can do for him. I'll say he's held on longer than any human I've seen infected with this. So, switching back to Rodick, I think you're waiting in the commander's quarters. Are you doing anything in here while you're waiting for Reyla to eventually get back to you?
I'll probably be trying to generally search the quarters, and also I think I might actually go over and make sure the door is thoroughly locked so nothing can get in here right away.
Okay.
And then I will probably search the quarters to see if there's anything I can find.
You go to the door, and like you go to lock it, and you hear something immediately outside.
Oh boy.
Like no perception check required.
I will make sure the door is locked very quietly, and I will listen and see how much activity I'm hearing.
It's hard
outside.
to listen with the holovid stuff blaring through the room.
And immediately it starts to occur to me why this thing is showing up here. Yeah, I think I am going to go over and turn off the holovid thing.
Okay. So yeah, you hear like some pounding on the door, and maybe you're like, "Go away." Do you like start looking about the room, hoping that whatever it is leaves?
Yeah, I'm gonna get my shotgun out and line it up on the door, but then I'm just going to take a defensive stance and see if the door looks like it's holding okay. Maybe it's only called one of them.
How long do you give it?
Probably until Reyla calls me back.
Okay. So several minutes go by. Reyla, you and Bunko and Gore and Calorn are in the med bay. I think Calorn has said like you've done all that you can. I think our next plan needs to be to find your missing ranger and see if he's got any information that can help us solve this problem. Who? Oh, Zeta? Yeah, the last time you heard, he was going apeshit on some zombies with your freaking turret system. So, who's going to go through it? It is definitely sealed via very heavy duty encryption. Like, it's not modern day stuff, but like back in this era, this was top of the line, like sealed on the order of Darth Vader, and it's behind like many security bypasses. Unfortunately, like Corporal Calorn has no idea how to get through this sort of stuff. He wasn't like equipped with old, like century-old Imperial access codes or anything. If only someone you knew was. Like, do you have Bunko maybe look at the computer, or like that was something I heard earlier?
How far away is Signal versus where we are?
Let me take a look at the map. So, you guys are here in this green square, or that's actually where Rodick is. You guys are actually somewhere about here, like several decks down. Signal was several decks up and quite a ways forward on the ship. Probably a good 30 or 45 minutes back to him, depending on travel complications or things like that.
Plus minimum hour boot up time.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, he wasn't booting up or anything, so he's still shut down. It might actually be pretty difficult to find him. You know, there's just miles of corridors. It's possible. It's possible, but it's a very high DC. I'm not looking at your specific modifiers, so I don't know if it's potentially possible for you. It's a very hard check. Rebels of that day and age would have had a very hard time with it. You're still having a hard time with it. It's definitely high priority lockout. Like, this is the kind of stuff that they would have hid the Death Star plans behind. You could potentially get it, but it would require a very high roll.
If either of you have
it would,
a computer,
yeah, it would also require like probably a good bit of time.
Maybe take the hard drive.
Yeah, so
when I said take the hard drive, I meant pick the whole unit up and take it.
Private Gore just takes the auto dock. You're like now a mobile field medic. Yeah, it's possible that Gore could potentially take the computer system away. You're not entirely sure if it's stored locally though. It might be stored on the computer's data net somewhere.
I'm gonna whisper back.
You hear heavy breathing.
One hostile outside the door. Oh, I can meet up with you. Just give the word.
That would be a couple decks down. It's not terribly far away, but unfortunately you blew up. You blew up your only way back there. You'd have to find some sort of alternate route.
I'm probably going to transmit that. Did you find a route for me?
Yeah, he goes to the the terminal on the wall, and he's like, "Well, all stations should be able to access the deck plans." He's like, "Yeah, here we go," and he brings up like the deck plan cutaway of the ship. No, you are here. Let me highlight this. This was your attempt for now until something changes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was just looking at the section about trying again, but okay. I know you changed it. But... Okay. Well, it kind of is, but
yeah. So he points and he's like, "Great, this is us, and this should be where your friend is." If the damage that we saw from that Baradium rocket was any indication, it looks like that whole access junction was shot. Remember, we were going to go up the turbo shaft, then we lost the tech crew, And the maintenance tunnel was our secondary option. It sounds like maybe he might have nuked that, though. We could try risk it, but those catwalks looked like they sustained like quite a bit of damage.
I
Looked
might
like
not
he-
even fit in such service tunnels.
He says it's either that or we go further aft and find another maintenance section that can get us up to that deck.
I might be able to run the elevator off of my power pack. My power generator. Could be possible.
Yeah, he shrugs. Might be able to do that.
Big enough to run this.
But he's not on the way. He's back the other way. Let me...
He's
No, he was between.
that way.
Yeah, I'm gonna mark it down. Signal somewhere in this yellow area.
The gore picks up weapons. Everybody good to go? Sorry we couldn't do more for your friend.
What's the plan, boss? Well, that might not be healthy to meet up with.
Radical come back and say that I thought the elevator power was down. That was an obstacle we never got to meet before. As long as you can do it safely, will you be able to recover signal in the process? I'm just gonna sigh and say that we need to. Is there anyone there that can go on that mission? We're gonna need his code breaking abilities. And I'd say the Imperials don't have any free people to send. Let's try to recover him while you're completing your mission. He was an Imperial droid. He may still yet prove himself useful. I'm just gonna say. I will probably pause and say,
So, for
Hopefully
mission,
we'll take a
outside. Say, alright.
for mission success, we're going to have to crack this code to get this anti-toxin, right?
We don't know that there's actually a antitoxin. I think the corporal pops up, but if we can get to where they were working with the virus, we might be able to develop something. I mean, they already have something that helps vaccinate against it. Maybe with some more information, they might be able to come up with a cure.
So,
The gore is like at the door, taking a careful peek out. Like you just see him cracking the door briefly.
Mm-hmm. Like 6 inches closed again.
That's not exactly.
I
That's
don't
typical of doors, I know.
I don't see how meeting a deranged person with a pad that might have a code is going to really get us closer to mission success than forgetting about the human, whatever you would call it, equation, and we should get the person who could actually access the codes.
You don't necessarily know that.
Well, I think Calorn pipes up again and he says, if you think your droid might be able to hack through Imperial encryption like this, by all means, that's an option. I wouldn't suggest leaving your man behind, but the hope was that the commander of the ship had access to the areas we need. Like he would have had to. He's the one person guaranteed that would have had access anywhere we needed. If your Rodick has found his identification codes, his authorization, we should be able to travel anywhere on the ship. Your droid might be an option, but he shrugs. I don't know if he could get through that kind of encryption.
I can meet you halfway, Miss Fire Seeker. I'm sure I can get past this one. There's not much out there, I don't think. Not necessarily. If you could send the elevator up, I could maybe make a break for it if it had power. You wouldn't have to endanger yourselves. Confirmed.
Possible.
I think Calorn says, if you feel it's necessary, I don't know if you can help him or not. I know it's not. It doesn't feel great to leave someone behind like this. We've had to do an unfortunate amount of that here. If you think you can help him, but I don't know if splitting up is the right idea or not. So, Rayla, you're gonna stay behind and potentially try to work through getting through to the encrypted files here, while everybody else goes on. How does everybody feel about that?
Alexis waiting for the word. I'll tell she's ready to make a break whenever you give him a holler.
If you feel it is necessary that he has done such for you, then you must do so.
You're the boss.
All right, so it's been
I was like, no, can't use same frequency. Have to use arrow.
I could say confirmed. He'll switch over to the main channel.
So
All
it's
right.
been about like 10 or 12 minutes, Rodick, and
I might,
nothing's come through the door, and I think like the noise is kind of stopped.
may quietly radio to the Imperials at some point then and ask him if they're going to require a tooth to DNA identify their man here.
I think the corporal says, "Oh, jeez, is it that bad?"
No, you can still make him out, but I don't think he's going to be buried. I know that it's sometimes a tradition to remove a tooth for future identification.
I think he just says, "We've got more than enough on the ship. We're gonna need identifying. I wouldn't bother. We'll come back for him later."
Alex gonna nod and say, "Yeah."
I'm just imagining Corporal Calorn and his helmet is going, Melnus dead, cross line.
So Bunko, Gore, and Calorn all head out to eventually, with the hopes of finding the turbo elevator and getting it working again. It's actually not too far off. With that said, Reyla, you're left alone as the door shuts behind you. Yeah, you can seal it. I think when you got in here, it's pretty obvious that you can institute like a base lock. There's hopefully the undead don't have officer codes. Yeah. Okay. So you want to sit down and try to get in through there. You see the bright red letters, Imperial Bioweapons Project, blah blah blah, sealed by the order of Lord Vader, like ultra classified. Do you want to try to find a way through this? Okay. Give me a computers roll. No. So this is like you're not really a hacker, and I mean you've seen Signal do some things, you've seen Agent B do some things, you've seen some other people do some things, you've even done a few security swipes yourself. But like this was encryption meant to keep people out from like war secrets. And as old as it might be, like 120 years old, it's still the equivalent of like a 16-year-old kid who's like maybe hacked Facebook, like somebody's Facebook account a couple of times, coming up to like some missile silo out in the middle of nowhere, and is coming upon like actual military grade encryption for the first time. And I think you're just overwhelmed by it. And it's definitely it's definitely not going to be easy. You don't even know if you could do it if you had hours, not days. It's a mess. You don't know whether it's just good code or whether it's because it's old, but it doesn't look like you're going to be able to get through this anytime soon. Yeah, so like you've got like quite a bit of poking around in the database to go. With that, we cut to our trio out in the corridor.
Keep moving. Watch the vents.
Yeah, are you
Buggers
on
like
point,
the vents.
Gore?
Yep. I suppose I would be.
Okay, cool. So yeah, you've got point. I think Gore. You've got point, and
I'm watching
the
for
corporal's
signs that
picking
say
up the
turbo
rear.
elevator that way.
Yeah, so he's uploaded a like a HUD map to your helmet link up. You can easily see the direction you're supposed to go. and I think he taps a few things, and the map zooms in like the corner of your display, and you're definitely coming up on the turbo elevator section. Can all of you give me perception checks, or at least both of you give me perception checks? I see a 20. Somebody mark 50 XP. Private Gore rolled a 20 for 24.
Perception is not a trained skill for Private Corps.
Oh, I'd rather be lucky than good, though.
Yeah.
So, you're making your way to the turbo elevator banks, and I think like at the edge of your detection, like you've got several bands on your visor, and I think you're maybe flipping through like your enhanced vision and back to normal occasionally, and there's one particular instance where you pick up some odd electromagnetic activity in this area through your EM vision, and like you're seeing this. It's particularly useful out in the jungle where there's like very little in the way of electronics. But it can be useful here in like a Star Destroyer. You can occasionally see through objects if there's like a magnetic field, electromagnetic field behind it. And this is a powered section of the ship nearby. Not necessarily like where you are. Like the atmosphere is on here. Like it's been bleeding out from other powered sections. I think there's like a power conduit like 30 meters to your left that's still on, and then there's but like for visual purposes you wouldn't be able to tell at all. It looks like there's a set of quarters nearby that looks like the power is flickering there on and off. Generally, like the power, there is some power to this section. It's just like it's very haphazard. You can see that the elevator banks are like not powered, but you're getting there when you see like some weird power fluctuations, and when you look in that direction, you can see, I guess, movement in the corridor. And but you know, before you can flip back to normal vision and get like a clear view of it, it's gone. However, you did definitely pick up some sort of motion down like a very nearby corridor that seems to go along behind the elevator bank, and there was definitely something weird with the motion. Like there was an electromagnetic field coming from the motion, like something active.
I'd probably feel like possible contact came up on EM spectrum, but
Yeah, so I think
it was unusual.
Keep an
eye
Calorn
out.
moves in close. You know, his blaster race, and he's like, I'm switching to EM now. I'll keep an eye. Do you guys like hunker down here, or do you proceed? Like you can actually see the turbo elevators probably like 30-40 feet down the corridor. It's just kind of like in a wider open room. It looks like there's a long hallway going through the room, and then it looks like there's maybe two hallways bisecting it. So it looks like there's a lot of ways in and out of this particular area.
Turbo elevators just ahead. We hear a minute to see if we see anything else, then go.
Yeah, he nods. Good idea, Gore. So yeah, you guys wait a minute, and like, do you wait like a literal minute? How long do you wait?
Like just like 2 minutes. See if I see the movement again.
Yeah. You don't.
Don't see it now.
All right. So the corporal, like, you know, moves his hand in a gesture towards the elevators, and he's like, all right, let's move on then.
Keep going up. Stay close.
So both Bunko and Calorn move in behind Gore, who's like almost like walking cover, and you shuffle quickly to the elevator bank. Looks like there's probably like 4 elevators here. One of them looks like it's actually like the doors have been pried open partially. Looks like something had tried to get in there. There's like blood all over them. It looks like maybe there's a skeletal foot sticking out of the doors. It looks like they might have been chewed on. The next elevator, it looks like somebody pried open a panel and maybe had attempted to hotwire it. The other 2 look fairly normal.
The one with the skeletal foot sticking out has the car here.
Yeah, it does. If you go to the doors and peer in, it looks like some poor soul was trying to get into the elevator doors and they closed around his foot, and he got stuck there. And you could only assume the zombies ate his foot while he was still attached to it. And they tried to pry through the doors, and they didn't have any luck. But yeah, you can see a uniform inside of the darkened elevator. It looks like a standard kind of Imperial uniform in there.
Calorn, make sure this one's dead with your lower powered weapon.
Yeah, so I think he looks at yours for a second, and you hear him chuckle, and then he says, "Might not be wise to make any noise. Maybe we should pry the doors open and take care of him with one of these." And he pops out like a wrist vibro blade. That's fairly standard issue.
The private core just nods, and then
Okay.
starts prying at the door.
Okay, yeah. You want to give me a strength check to see if you how badly you mangle this door?
Okay. I want to use extreme efforts.
Ooh, yeah. So what for everybody else? What does extreme effort let you do?
I did get on the sheet. Ooh, somewhere in here, I wrote it down. It lets you spend 2 swift actions, and I think I get a bonus. Where I wrote it down? Oh, no, that's why I wrote it, but it's not there. I wrote the page number. Dar.
I think you get like a
spend 2
plus
swift
4.
actions, get a +5.
Plus 5, yeah.
All right, so.
Okay, so like you're basically taking like a full turn here. Oh, Private Gore. Where did your modifier go?
It'd be a 13. You can't add it on strength. It doesn't offer it.
Okay. Okay, so a 13. So Gore with his immense strength is
having trouble with this door.
having trouble with this door. You hear like it prying, and I think like part of it, I think it's just jammed. Like it's not like the door is typically resisting you. I think you start to bend the metal back, and there's like a as you start to peel the metal back with your claws and everything, maybe a little bit unintentionally. It seems like maybe there's something in the elevator door that's like jamming it shut.
Doors on this one are jammed.
Maybe we should try the next one. I think maybe Private Gore and Corporal Calorn are not in a great position for perception checks, but it sounds like maybe Agent B is keeping an eye out.
Yep.
You want to give me a perception check? All right, so you're keeping an eye out. How are you feeling about like these two here, taking so long to do this? Are you getting antsy? Or are you just like, typical amateurs, or what is Agent B's response to this? As this is going on?
This whole shit makes me antsy.
Yeah.
But I feel more safe with these two than I do around Rodick.
Like you look at the private's gun, and like the anti-starfighter missile launcher over his shoulder. Yeah, I would feel safe with him too. He's bigger than a goddamn Wookiee. So so you're keeping an eye out, and I think you hear something down one of the corridors. Like it sounds like something maybe getting knocked over. It's hard to tell what corridor. It sounds like it's coming from aftward. And I think if you look in that direction, you don't see anything in particular, Agent B.
Alright. I tell him I think I heard something in the aft. Something getting knocked over.
Yeah, I think at that point, like, the Corporal motions for you to stop your mangling of the elevator door, and turns around to scan the area with his visor.
You do something.
Something down the aft.
All right, look, Gore, this is normally what I would send you to go check out because of your big sweeper there, but we need this generator here on the door. I'll make sure there's nothing over there. Do you want to? I think he turns to you, Agent B. You want to get started on the door? I understand you have some technical expertise.
Alright.
I will assist him on the door.
Okay. How will you assist?
I just tear a panel off.
Okay, yeah.
Expose like
You
wires
just
and stuff.
dig your climbing claws in there and just like rip a panel off, toss it away.
Yep.
And then like you're like, okay. And then like maybe you draw out like one of your power cables from your rear or your generator on your back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Private Gore has like some sort of internal generator that's very big on his armor. That's an aid. You get +2 to your roll, Bunko. So I think this is going to be a mechanics roll for you to hotwire the elevator. Corporal Calorn hasn't gone out of sight. He's moved down the area of the elevator.
Notably,
room.
what we're trying to do is like wire the controls for the elevator from the inside, because it would be stupid for them to have the whole track be powered. So it's probably the car itself that provides the power.
Yeah.
Or at least has the motors.
Yeah, definitely. So you're basically just trying to run it. It's going to take a couple minutes, but this is definitely a simple procedure, Agent B. And I think Calorn never gets out of sight, and he goes over to one of the doors and he like kind of leans around, like well away from the lip of the door, and he like looks around. And you see him stiffen a little bit, and he just shakes his head, and he's like, "You don't want to look over there. I don't see anything." And he starts making his way back. He starts making his way back, and then he gets tackled from behind by just a running figure. And he goes down, and his blaster goes off and like strikes the wall nearby.
I draw my sidearm and take a single shot at the thing on its back.
Oh, yeah. I love how your sidearm is like a riot gun. It's like a full rifle for most people.
I notably don't use the auto fire. I only use single fire.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, there's this figure right on his back, and You're gonna take a shot at him?
Yep.
So it's currently on top of him. I'm gonna give you like a minus.
What's the
like
penalty for firing into melee?
Yeah, I'm looking at that right now. Yeah, -4.
That's not good. 5.
Yeah, so I think you're not used to firing things without holding the trigger down. So you pull the trigger like really hefty, and the shot like goes wide, and you're like, "This is why I hate semi-automatic fire."
This is why the fire is bitter.
So you're still standing near the door. You've got your power cord like pulled out, and it's hooked up to the
That's
elevator.
why I'm still staying here.
Yeah. Agent B, you've got two options here with your good roll. You could power the elevator, but to do so, like to fully power it, and it like jump charge its internal battery will take some time. If you want to get it working right now, you can. It'll only be good for like a one-way trip though. You might have to, you might of course be able to charge it again up there. Private Gore's battery packs are great, but they're not precisely meant for powering one of these turbo elevator shafts. So like you can use one of his power packs, and it'll basically be one use of the elevator. Is that what you want to go with?
Well, what's the other option?
You could continue working on it. It's just going to take some time. You could fully drain, probably a couple power packs from Private Gore's charge here, and basically charge the emergency battery on the elevator. But that'll take a minute at least.
I'm fine with a one-way trip.
Okay. So yeah, you like do a quick shunt and basically use the battery from Private Gore's back to charge the elevator instead of using it to charge the batteries on the elevator. And so like the doors, bing, pop open, and like the lights flicker on, and yeah, they're definitely dim, but the elevator is active. The Corporal is like desperately struggling with this thing, and you can see that it is it looks to be in like a black uniform of some kind with like a black helmet on, and is like bearing down on him. And I think Private Gore, right as the cord disconnects from the elevator, signaling, right as Bunko disconnects your cord from the elevator, you see the zombie raise its arm, and you hear like an electronic whirring sound, and you realize it's holding a grenade.
I attempt to shoot the zombie again.
Okay, you want to shoot him again?
Maybe it'll blow him back. I don't know.
Okay. Are you like purposely trying to like aim for like center mass of the zombie to blow him off of the Corporal? All right, that's gonna be hard. That'll be like another penalty on top of firing into melee.
Mm-hmm. I'll try it anyway.
You still want to try it? Yeah, I'll say it'll be like a -3 to hit him anywhere that might stagger him further back, and like the higher the hit on this, maybe the more result you'll get.
Alright. Firing at -7. Or -9 total.
Poor Private Gore. If only he could depress the trigger.
Same result.
Yep. So you miss again, and I think there's this wine, as I think the Corporal takes maybe his last turn. Maybe ever. What does he try to do? I think his first instinct would be to just try to vibro knife the zombie in the head. I'm gonna roll to see if he has this sense of awareness that the zombie is like a suicide zombie with a grenade. He rolled a natural 20. So yeah, I think what he does is he goes to wrestle for the grenade. He goes to wrestle for the grenade, and I think he gets his hand around the switch so the zombie can't like let go of it, and like he tumbles over the zombie, and now he's on top of it, and it's like it's scratching and biting at him. It's not making a whole lot of headway against his armor, but they're still locked in combat, and like this, he's not getting any further away from the zombie. Like, if anything, this is like almost exactly what the zombie wanted. But like he's got both of his hands wrapped around the zombie's hand, and he's dropped his weapon, and he's just trying to prevent the zombie from letting go of this grenade. And he's like, "Grenade!" Bunko, what do you do?
Am I still playing with the elevator, or is it...
I think you're just now finishing it up, and you're turning back to like tell everybody that you've supercharged it really quick. It might not hold very long. You look back, and Gore is taking shots, and the corporal is currently wrestling with the zombie, like trying to wrestle something out of its hands. And you hear grenade yelled. And when that happens, you can see several figures running down the corridor from where it came, like 5 or 6 zombies running in a full out sprint, and they look like they have things. Like maybe weapons? You only see silhouettes at this point.
The zombies are coming with things.
What do you have for?
It's the technical definition.
How far off are the zombies?
The new ones? They're rounding the corner of the like entering the large room, the elevator bank room that you're in. Probably 20 feet, 25 feet, as they're coming out of the corridor and like making a beeline for all of you.
How far to the corporal?
The corporal is probably about halfway, roughly about 10 or 12 feet away. So, Agent B, what do you do?
I'm gonna get out my ascension gun and shoot the corporal and bring charge to the elevator.
Okay.
Oh God.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay, give me an attack roll, with a -4 penalty for firing into melee. Oh, that's great. I don't know that the corporal's gonna think it's great because they have like steel-tipped darts on the end of them, but that might save his life regardless. What is the corporal's AC? It would be really funny if he died because you couldn't penetrate stormtrooper
well, he can't
armor.
dodge, so
Yeah,
whatever
so
his...
he is flat-footed. I'm looking it up right now.
Gore's is 20, but he has a heavier armor.
Yeah. It's high, but I gave you a penalty to shoot into the melee. Well, I'm going to give him not only a penalty for being flat-footed, but he's also, like, basically grappled. So I'm going to say his AC is, or his defense is even lower. So yeah, that's a hit. You fire in and deal 18 damage with your... Well, that's not the Ascension, that's the Ascension gun's energy damage. Does it say how much it does? Normally these things have, like, a... If you shoot it with the grappling hook thing, it does this amount of damage. Does it say anything about that for the Ascension gun?
No, I think the only thing it says is like speed and weight and stuff like that.
8 or something, maybe.
What's a typical slug thrower? That would work. Yeah, roll a d8. We'll see how much damage he actually takes from the dart. Okay, not a whole lot. So I think your dart, like it's. If you recall the scene from episode 1 where they take the guns out and they fire them up into the roof, that's exactly what you're shooting it with. It's like a steel-tipped, flanged grappling hook sort of thing. And so it fires into his shoulder, and you hear him yelp, and you rip him. You want to like rip him off of the zombie and towards the elevator.
Yep. I'm gonna brace my legs and stuff.
Okay. Give me a strength roll, and this will be in addition to the Ascension gun's ability to like haul somebody up. I just want to see like how stable you are. That's not bad. Yeah, that's definitely doable. I think you get jerked a little bit, and he gets jerked away, and I need to make a very important roll for him. Can he hold on to the grenade? Ooh.
That didn't sound good.
Well, that was a 4. What is his skill? So his dex is not terribly great. So he gets yanked off of the zombie, and you hear him, oh shit, as there's a clatter as the grenade drops next to the zombie, as he's being pulled away, and then it detonates. He is pulled away, but not fully out of the grenade blast radius. I'm gonna say he takes like half damage as he's like reeled away from this thing as it blows up. I think 46 is standard grenade. I'm just gonna say, like, it goes off. Like, I guess I'll make an attack. Yeah, it wasn't like the thing is, it's not like an attack roll. Like the grenade doesn't require an attack roll. It just needs to get close. Yeah. All right. I'll roll one. We'll see. Maybe when he drops it, it rolls away.
He
so the grenade
half damage if he succeeds.
Yeah. Well, even if he fails, he's gonna take half damage. Like if he succeeds on if it misses, then he just won't take any at all. I was just gonna give him half damage for being like pulled out of the explosion as the explosion was happening.
Good luck, man.
The tricky question is, what is the base attack bonus for a grenade just being dropped on the ground? Like, it wasn't an intentional attack.
Maybe that's a negative bonus?
Could be just plus 0.
But then, like, if that was the case, then you could be right next to it, and a grenade going off would never hurt you. Like,
well, the way it normally works with grenades is if it misses, you take half damage. If it hits, you take full damage.
Okay.
If you're in the blast radius.
I'm gonna say it misses and he takes quarter damage. It doesn't make sense for a grenade to go off and like not to have any effect.
If it's any factor, the speed is 12 squares per round.
Yeah, that's definitely what's giving you. That's very quickly. I think he's like, oh, holy shit, as he's getting the cross into the elevator.
That's total get over there territory.
Yeah, if that was the case, it would have been a miss. So he would have taken half damage, and I was already gonna give him half damage, so he'll be quarter damage. So he takes a very minor hit as the grenade goes off. The zombie, however, takes that full blast. As I think, Gore, you see your corporal get like shot with a grappling hook and then hauled into the elevator, and you see the grenade go off, basically blowing off like this zombie's left arm and like half of its face. And you see these other zombies rushing in, and I think you see like another grenade at least lighting up in one of their hands. They're about 20-25 feet away or so. What are you doing?
Gore pulls his own grenade and throws it that way, and then hits the up button on the elevator once we're inside.
give me a grenade roll then.
No, I have it on here. Grenade.
That'll be base attack plus dex. Oh yeah.
You're frag.
So I think the doors shut, and as that happens, there's like a whoomp, and a little bit of zombie eyeball and gore just flies through the crack of the elevator doors as they close and sprays across the wall.
And then I dispense a little bit of liquid cable into the spots broken on his armor.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. He's I think he's like, oh, damn it, and he's like, what the hell? And he's like reaching back, and there's like this line coming out of his armor, like he's been caught by a fishing hook.
Sorry, you needed to give the ride up.
Yeah, he just looks at you and he's like, thanks. I don't know that I've ever thanked anybody for shooting me with a. Is this an ascension gun? He's like, geez, where'd you get this at a museum? And he just shakes his head as the elevator ascends several floors. So Rodick, you're in your room. It's been like
1 second, actually. Hold on one
okay.
second.
All right, well we'll go to Reyla then. Reyla, what have you been doing after you've spent like maybe 20 minutes on these computers and figured that it's going to take you either days or longer to potentially get through there? I assume you give up at that point. Unfortunately, no yellow sticky notes saying like the password is Palpatine.
The password is Vader. What? The password is Vader 12345.
Vader 12345. So yeah, how exactly do you pass the time in here? Alone with Hal, who's basically on life support, and like the slow process of dying. Do you meditate? Do you like think about the events of what's been happening? Is it really hard for Reyla to sit still? Yeah. So Rodick, it's been about like 15 minutes. The banging on the doors stopped. It's been quiet in here. Reyla said that she sent them out to the elevators. What do you?
You get a. Just so you know, they learned to use grenades.
Yeah, that comes through. What is your response to that, Rodick? Like, what are you doing, and what do you do when you hear Corporal Gore say that they've learned to use grenades?
They didn't learn it from us. All we've done is drop them at our own feet. Maybe they've learned to use them badly. I'll ask.
I think the Corporal comes in. You can hear him like breathing a little bit hard, like he's been injured, Rodick, and he says, "That's exactly what they've been doing."
Well, at least they didn't learn a proper throw. And I'm just gonna kind of transcend that as a positive. What's your ETA?
We're on the way up now. We should be on your floor in just a minute.
Roger that. I'm at the door. Do you want me to start heading for the elevator? Ready to move.
If you can clear it, it'd be nice for the elevator doors to not open to a horde of zombies.
You've got it. Can I ping the outdoors area with my sonar and see if I get anything? I know that I can reset that.
So yeah, you go to ping your sonar, and we get like an odd moment of clarity amidst Rodick's hallucinations, and you press like the button, and it's like system down, error 4338, and it's like every time you press it, like there's this text that pops up across your visor.
I'm gonna curse and complain that once again, friggin' people screwed up their tech work, and I'll flip that off, and I'll take a deep breath as I kind of shoulder my rifle. It's start to make my way to the door.
Did you perhaps peruse any? I know you said you wanted to look through the room, and then the zombie showed up. Did you just like wait with your gun trained on the door this entire time? Like this, it's been like 15-20 minutes.
Oh yeah, after that happened, I probably didn't, like, when I've heard they're on their way up, I literally got behind a desk, got my gun set up in a fortified position, aimed down on the door, and have been just waiting silently until I got the signal to move.
Oh
how-
yeah, the desk is flipped over, isn't it?
How much of my big pack did it drain for the quick charge?
Just
For the
one.
Okay. That's
If
two
you
shots.
had been like charging more, it would have been 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Rodick's going to, shrug and figure they learned how to use grenades anyway, and get a frag grenade out in one hand, and,
With
start
grenades
making his way
on
to
your
the
mind,
door.
can you roll me a perception check?
Absolutely. So I had one question since it may come up. I was thinking of taking double attack, and I was wondering if slug throwers would apply. There's no slug throwers on the list, but the rule was written before slug throwers were a thing, and there are other things like that, so I wasn't sure if that would be applicable or not.
So it says choose one of the following weapon groups: advanced melee weapons, heavy weapons, lightsabers, pistols, rifles, or simple weapons, or an exotic weapon. So if you want to say like slug thrower weapons.
Yeah.
It sounds like he's wanting to go for slug thrower weapons.
If it's a possibility, otherwise I'll pick a different group. I was just curious. Let me roll that perception.
Yeah, go. Well, if I let you do that, then what happens when somebody says they want blasters? Because then that would basically cover the majority of pistols, rifles, and heavy weapons.
Yeah, that's true. I was thinking it was more of a niche thing, is why I was thinking it might be available. But if it's not, that's fine. Then I have one other question for you in that case. Does the pistol or rifle skill get used with the shotgun in retracted stock mode?
Oh, that's such a good question. I would say pistol.
If that uses the pistol, I might take pistols then. So that would apply to my slinker and my shotgun in that case, if that would work out.
One thing to keep in mind, though, for that attack, it's a full attack, so you can't move or anything.
Oh yeah. It takes a -5 to both attacks too. It's very devastating, but it could come in handy.
So I will say your slinker pistol is no longer a pistol.
Is that an integrated weapon now?
Yeah, it's an integrated weapon. For a pistol, it actually has to be like, a pistol that you hold. So you could say like maybe integrated weapons or wrist weapons or something like that for double attack.
Integrated weapons work? I would do that.
Yeah, I think that would probably work. I'm gonna have to maybe think about that one a little bit more.
Okay, for the moment, I'll consider I have exotic integrated, but if you need to change that later, there's no complaining.
There will be a difference between exotic integrated and exotic wrist weapons.
Okay.
Because remember we previously established that an exotic weapons group was wrist-mounted weapons, so
Yep.
that will be separate.
Yep. I'm totally cool with however you want to do it. I was just trying to figure out what the best option would be.
Oh
Thanks,
god,
man.
now Rodick can fire his shoulder-mounted slinker gun like twice now.
If he doesn't move
Yeah, if he doesn't move.
or aim.
So Rodick, you rolled a 25 on your perception. I think you're grabbing one of your grenades and you're getting ready to head out the door, and you realize that like maybe you dropped a grenade because there's like a grenade right underneath the desk where it's been flipped over.
Absolutely. I'm probably gonna try and do that.
Yeah, so you go to pick it up and you actually realize it's not a standard issue frag grenade. It's not one of your stun grenades either.
I'm gonna hold this up and give it a close inspection.
You don't know precisely what it is. Like at first glance, do you have any sort of knowledge that may pertain to this, or are we going to be doing a general knowledge roll?
Depends on the kind of grenade it is, I suppose.
It's probably knowledge
I don't
tech.
Know a lot about grenades, so that might work.
It's probably knowledge tech then. If you don't have it, we
Really?
can roll general.
I do not have knowledge tech.
Okay. Yeah, roll general, and we'll see. Maybe you'll get lucky.
Where is general?
Just
Physical
roll
science, life
roll
sciences?
knowledge. It's general is the difficulty. Um,
Oh, okay.
yeah. I think it's actually a DC 10. I'm checking that now. General knowledge is supposed to be super easy. Knowledge, common knowledge, DC 10. All you can see is that there are hollow emitters on this grenade. You don't know what else it does, but there's like an activation button. There seems to be some sort of data port, and there are multiple hollow emitters on this grenade.
This is a very unusual design. I'm going to take it. I'm going to pocket this for potential evaluation later, or
You can
Hail Mary use.
you can mark this down as like hollow grenade if you want, for lack of a
I
better,
shall do
more
that.
official term.
Mark it down as a hollow grenade. Got it.
All right, so with that, you make your way to the door.
Absolutely. I'm going to start making my way up to the door with probably my slinkers out at the ready, my shotgun's under my arm,
Okay.
ready to roll.
So you get to the door. What do? It's closed. It's locked where you left it locked. Like there's a red light on the panel next to it.
Since this might impact my action if I have to shoot my way out of here, does this preclude movement? Because I'm looking at the description and I don't see anything about that. And I just wanted to make sure.
When you use a full attack action, you may make one additional attack.
Yeah, so
No,
a full attack.
I pasted it. It doesn't say that. Oh, what page are you getting that from? I'm just curious.
Core 84.
All I see is on the Core 84, you may make an additional attack during a round of combat. It doesn't say anything about a full. Maybe I'm being dense or missing something.
So this
Here, I'll settle it.
Single exotic
That's the
weapon.
short.
Okay. Oh, okay. I might have missed it under there. Sorry about
Yeah,
that.
so double attack.
Good to know.
Choose a single exotic weapon or one of the following weapons. When you use the full attack action, you may make one
I see
additional
how that
attack.
works.
This is why
Thank you very much.
This is why you do not pick your feats from the index list. The thing on page.
Oh no, I'm reading
80?
it right out of the book. I just missed. I didn't know what full attack action. I missed that wording and
Yeah.
didn't understand
So
how
a
it
full
works. Okay, got it. It's all good.
a full attack is like devoting your entire round and all of your actions and all of your concentration on making attacks.
Got it. Just want to make sure in case I have to run and gun in 2 seconds.
It could happen. So
I
you're
am,
you're at
stacking
the
up
door.
on the door, and I am going to get ready to pull it with my left hand and release the lock, while my right hand has my shotgun out. And
Okay.
I probably am. Is my thermal working yet? I'm gonna try and click that in, or is that also still fried?
You flip it on and it's very fuzzy. It's like VHS, like partially demagnetized VHS tape fuzzy. Like it's wavy all over the place. You can see your hand kind of pinkish there, right near the door, and it's kind of like waving in and out of your vision. You can see like a little bit of warmth within the walls where there's power conduits.
But aside, I think that's better than nothing, and I'm probably gonna leave it out as I take a cut. I'm gonna slightly try and open the door like 2-3 inches, and I'm gonna try and take a slight peek out.
Well, remember it's
Oh, it's like automatic. It's gonna open all the way.
yeah, pretty much all the doors in Star Wars are like, like the whole door slides.
Okay, in that case, I shall brace myself, get my shotgun trained on what might be on the other side, and pop the door.
So the door opens up, and nothing happens immediately.
Gonna gonna let my shotgun rest back on its sling and get my grenade out. And I start to take a very cautious step outwards. Slinker's still at the ready.
Okay. You see a body in the corridor, like lying face down, where you don't remember there being one before.
I will get a little bit leery about that. Do I see heat signature on it yet?
Yeah, looking through your fucked up heat signature, it's really hard to tell. Give me a perception check. Like
Let's check.
it's waving in and out. Like you can see heat coming from like faint heat coming from the walls, from the floor. There does seem to be heat from the body. It's hard to tell if it's coming from like the power conduit running beneath the body or what. You like as you're looking at it, like it's so wavy that like you don't think you could accurately shoot with your thermal vision on. But you do think that maybe there is some heat from the body.
I'm going to try to be sure. If I see a body out there, I'm going to kill the thermal vision so I can actually see again. And I am going to try to stab it in the head with my vibro blade. Not taking
Okay,
chances.
so yeah,
you
you want to like walk quickly over and stab it in the head?
Yeah, very quietly if I can.
Quietly or quickly?
Quietly.
Alright, time to make a stealth check. Ooh, Rodick being stealthy. Yeah, you know, holding your breath behind your helmet, you move forward. There's a chink as you extend the vibro blade from your gauntlet. You get right up over the body. You're very uncomfortably aware that you're standing at the end of like the little corridor where that leads to the commander's room, and you're standing in like what should be the elevator bank room where your friends should be arriving momentarily.
I've been given
there's
bad directions, but in the meantime, better take this guy out before he stands up and starts causing trouble.
yeah. So you go and stab him in the head. Your vibro blade just sinks right through into his skull, and there's like a. It's like your blade goes right through his brain. He flinches a little bit, and something rolls out from beneath him.
I remember the warning that I got, and I'm immediately going to dive for the closest piece of cover that I can see.
Okay, so you're gonna like try to. I think the closest cover would either be out into the corridor, the open corridor, and maybe trying to get around a corner, or back through the door. Like maybe make a turn and try to run back through the door into the commander's office.
Actually, I'm still in a kind of standing or like a crouched position, right?
Yeah.
And it just rolled out.
Yeah, it dropped out from beneath him. Like it was obviously like beneath him.
I might regret this in the morning, but I'm going to give it the hardest kick I can possibly give it.
I was hoping you were gonna do this. Give me a dex roll plus your base attack bonus to see how well Rodick can kick an explosive soccer ball.
This will be +8. I don't think I can add that to the dex button. Roll an 18.
Nice roll. So yeah, you boot the grenade across the lobby, and I think the door to the elevators open up. Private Gore and Bunko and the the good Corporal are like in the elevator, and the door opens up, and like, you know, you've got your guns raised, and you're like, you sigh with relief for not seeing any zombies, and then like something flashes past your vision. And I think the Corporal says, "Was that a grenade?" And then like it explodes, maybe like 13 feet outside of the door, and there's just like shrapnel and fire everywhere.
It's gonna sigh in relief as he stands up from this creature, and Actually, you know what? I think right after that happens, I'm going to lean back down, roll him over, and see if he's got any more of those on him.
Whoop, 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 whoop.
Oh,
There's like another grenade right there.
I'm going to book for the corridor and try to sail into it.
So you're gonna like dive out of the way and make a run for it.
I'm going for a diving run for the corridor, yes.
Give me an acrobatics roll.
Oh, God.
All right. I think you're gonna be in the same position that the corporal was with the grenade attack here. Let me roll something. If it misses, you'll be at quarter damage. Yep. So you're able to get mostly out of the way, but not completely out of its radius. Wow, rolled 11 on that one too.
How much damage is that total?
You're gonna take 2.
Wow, I will take that.
Yeah, so you're.
Plenty
I think like there's another explosion as everybody in the elevator's recovering, and you're like, "What the hell's going on?" And Rodick gets blown across the lobby and smacks into a wall nearby.
Jesus.
I have to have my shot where I'm jumping away from the explosion.
Yep.
All 90s action movie.
Yep. It's almost like you're propelled through the air by the explosion. What is everybody's reaction to Rodick like flying across the room in an explosion and like leaving a dent in the bulkhead?
That's our man.
I think the corporal just says, "Oh crap, they're gonna hear that too." I hope this elevator is still working.
Back down.
Alright guys, it's a one-way trip.
I hooked my cable. Like, better start charging.
So you prepare for like another quick charge. All right, so you're setting up book. Are you gonna try to recharge the elevator?
Guess so.
Okay, all right. So give me a mechanics roll. Rodick, or what are you doing? Are you stumbling towards them?
Yeah, I'm probably.
I think the corporal's there. He's got a sidearm, and he's like, Force, what are you doing? That's gonna attract all of them.
To say, I'm not the one that threw the grenades. I'm gonna pat the side of my my outfit and say that, or basically my toolkit, one of the empty pouches, and say, I've got the data rod right here. We gotta go. What's going on? Are you fixing the elevator?
So yeah, you can see Agent B is unhooked a power cord. You've never met Private Gore. There is this giant stormtrooper standing there, like absolutely huge, bigger than a Wookiee. He's holding a goddamn E-Web blaster cannon. Like this is the sort of thing that you could shoot down a speeder with. And then to top that off, like, is that a concussion missile launcher over his shoulder? And he's like looking at you through his blackened faceplate, and Agent B has like a power cord extended from his backpack to the elevator. But like even as that's happening, I think the corporal says down, and he takes a shot at the zombie who's stumbling into the lobby, and rolls a 3. I think he's gonna use a force point.
I would probably take a shot at it also.
He hits with that one. So the corporal fires with his blaster. Fourth. Oh my god, 6 damage. That wound to his shoulder is apparently really throwing off his aim. I think he shoots the zombie in the toe, and he's like, shit! Yeah, I think he's like, why does this always happen to me? Wow, those ones 3 runs in a row. So Private Gore, are you trying to shred the zombie?
I'll shred the zombie before it reaches the square that Rodick's in.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
I'll
like
use auto
Rodick still has
fire.
his back to it. So what are you using?
The Espo riot gun.
Okay. Are you doing single fire or auto?
Auto fire.
Okay, cool. So I think like the private raises a pistol, and then Rodick, absurdly, you realize that this is not a pistol. It's like some sort of full-on assault riot gun that just looks like a pistol in this thing's hand. And he like points it over your shoulder and like lets loose like a full auto burst. Like right then, like, how's it going, guys? And you just hear like repeated blaster fire in the background. That's enough to finish off the zombie that he shot in the toe. So I think like, yeah, he shoots it in the foot and the zombie stumbles, and you just blow its
You
face
better
and its
hurry,
torso
you get.
apart. Rodick, are you getting into the elevator? Are you spinning around, covering? What are you doing?
I'm going to turn around and take one knee, and my slinker is going to slide back and almost lock into position, and I'm going to try to take 2 shots at the closest zombie.
Yeah, so like right, even as you're doing that, like a pair of zombies around the corner. Both of them have blaster rifles, and they're running around the corner, and they start firing even before they have any chance of hitting you. You wanna pop a shot off on one of them?
Absolutely. Give me 1 second. Wow, that was a bad attack. Even with I rolled a 1.
No.
Oh no! I rolled a 1 on both attacks. Are you kidding me?
Well, one was 1 on damage. Wow, you rolled double 1s on that first damage. What's weird with that weird format, Rodick? There's like parentheses with nothing in it.
I don't know what's up with that. Put a negative 5, and I don't see that on there.
What's that 0D0?
I have no idea. I've never had a problem with a gun before. Maybe something went wrong. I put the negative 5 in.
Is that how you got the point blank to work?
It might be. Might be what the deal was.
All right, yeah, your formulas are really, really hard to read. So the first shot goes. I guess. Do you want to use a force point on the first shot? That one could still technically hit, even though and I guess that damage is not the damage you'd be doing point blank.
You know what? Yeah. I'm gonna totally. I'll totally use a force point for it. What the hell?
That's a hit. So Rodick shoots one of the zombies, and it's a good thing because his slinker lines up for the second one, and you're like, haha, eating my new attack program. I can fire twice in 1 round, and it just jams.
Oh no! I'm going
Yeah,
to
there's like warning, load malfunction, and you see like a little diagram pop up of your weapon, and then like catastrophic load failure. Like, please disassemble the load chamber and try again.
I was gonna look down at his shotgun and be glad he didn't ditch his.
Yeah, like
old reliable.
What happens when your shoulder-mounted auto weapon jams? Like that's a hard thing to unjam.
Yeah, it is.
So yeah, your second shot just dies in the chamber. B gets the elevator rigged again. What do you do, B, on your turn as the lights run green?
It's like, get in.
So let's see here. The second zombie, let's see if he gets a shot off before everybody can get away. Oh god, he's such a terrible shot. He fires and it doesn't even get anywhere close to the elevator. I think what happens is he shoots the first dead zombie by accident. It's already on the ground. It's very clear these guys have no skill with firearms. Private Gore, Rodick, are you guys backing into the elevator?
I probably never left the elevator because I was charging it. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
So
Back
are you
into
just-
the elevator
Are you just letting the doors close?
and backing into it with the gun pointed out towards the outside?
Okay, so there's one zombie out there, but like he doesn't make it to the doors in time. I think like he gets his hand in between the doors, and his hand just crunches. Maybe you'll be driving down the elevator shaft with zombie fingers following you. So yeah, the doors close. Where are you going, Agent B?
That's a good question.
So the doors open again, and there's like a handless zombie right there, looking very confused. I think the private just says, "Oh shit!" again, and he goes for a shot on it. Hits it.
He's cool to charge it, not to steer it.
Oh wow, he blows that thing apart. So yeah, he
No
puts his
loose
gun right up to its head and it blows it back away from the elevator.
It'll look to them and say, "Not a fan of loose ends, huh?"
And I think like he just looks up at you and like you can see like there's this odd cross-shaped mark in his shoulder that's been sealed with metal liquid cabling.
Please tell me, you people, before you came here, put that traitor in the infirmary into quarantine. You didn't leave him alone with anybody, did you?
I think the corporal backs into the elevator and just slaps a button as another trio of zombies like rush into the lobby. He's like, "We need to get out of here. We'll talk afterwards." The elevator begins to descend. So he leans against the wall of the elevator. He's like, "You got that encryption disk?"
we might need it when we get back down.
I've got my hands on it, yes.
Can I see it for a second?
I'm gonna look at him and I'm gonna say that, like you said, let's talk later. Let's just get there now.
Just give it to him, Rodick.
He shakes his head as the turbo lift doors open, and you guys emerge back into the lobby of the first place you left. And I think Private Gore gets to see the results of his handiwork. There's like bits of zombies hanging from the ceiling. The result of his grenade.
Nice shooting, Private Gore.
You
Gore just gives you a nod.
Yeah, you just assume Gore did all this.
Thinking like, yeah, this guy seems alright. As he
So-
starts to head out.
Everybody limps. I guess the corporal limps out of the elevator, and he's like, "All right, if we're gonna go to the labs, do we want to pick up Reyla first or what?" He opens his comms to you, Reyla.
Where did we
Reyla,
leave Reyla?
we've got your man here. He definitely doesn't sound terribly great, Reyla, as he's coming through, and he's like, he says he's got the encryption key. Yeah, I think he looks around and there's like a labeling on one of the walls. It's like turbo elevator 35C. And he's like, "Yeah, do you have your data pad hooked into your comm link? I can send you the schematics." So a minute later, you get like a very rough diagram. It's like apparently he cut like a section of the Star Destroyer schematic and then just drew like a line as to like where you should go. So yeah, you cut the comms. Do you leave the med center? Okay. So, so you make your way out and head for the rendezvous coordinates. Is everybody content to wait there? I think the corporal suggests that you all should find like a place to cover while you're waiting for Reyla to catch up.
Perhaps we should have Reyla look over your wounds.
Perhaps you should intercept Reyla. We don't want to leave her out there alone with this many things running around
Also,
there.
also
You're
Rodick.
halfway.
Rodick's wounds may need treatment as well.
Rodick will cough a bit and.
Reyla will come to you.
Rodick, you're coughing a little bit. You're again having like a permanently hard time breathing right now. It's like you've run a marathon and you caught a little bit of your breath back and you're not able to catch it all back. So I think you're maybe a little bit distracted by that. And the next time you look up, you see Hal standing on the other side of Private Corps, just looking at you.
Oh God! I'm going to scream, "Get down!"
So I think the corporal like gets down instinctively and draws his weapon and starts looking for a threat.
I'm not going to give him a chance to do
If I
anything.
see him pointing a gun at the corporal, I will try to restrain him.
I'm raising my wrist up and preparing to fire my flash grenade.
So he's not pointing the gun at the corporal.
My
He's pointing the gun like directly past you, Private Gore.
At nobody? Okay.
Like you turn and look at what he's pointing at.
Yep.
There's nothing there.
There's nothing there.
You don't
Rodick.
necessarily have time to say anything
Okay.
before he triggers this, though.
Okay.
So Rodick, you're firing a flash grenade.
Very sadly, yes.
Okay, yeah. It flies through the room, and there's this like blinding, deafening, thunderous roar as it smacks into a
Oh,
hallway.
I'm totally looking right at it.
Oh God. Well, you have. I think you have. Do you have flash suppression built into your helmet?
Maybe.
If it's not mentioned, it probably should be.
It's great.
I think
like that.
I'm gonna say you do. I'm gonna say you do. The Empire has been very, very generous with its soldiers' equipment in the most recent decades. Yeah.
Yeah, I pop a friggin' flash fist rocket, which Rodick's really gonna regret in the morning.
Yeah, I think it passes straight through where you were like seeing Hal, and it just goes right through him and detonates on one of the far walls. Everybody who's looking in that area, except for the two stormtroopers, are like flash blinded a little bit deafened, and there's this loud crack that rings through the bulkheads.
Rodick's not waiting. As soon as that flash rocket goes off, he's gonna be charging to try to drop kick Hal. I feel bad.
So Rodick jumps forward and tries to drop kick Hal, and you see Rodick rush forward and like drop kick the air, and he just smacks down right into like onto the ground with like this tremendous whoomph, and I think he lands on a zombie's leg, and there's like a crunch as it just breaks beneath him, and like the vision of Hal disappears. Rodick.
Feel that
Like-
thing crunch beneath me, and I'm just gonna spin instinctively and slam my vibro blade into it. And then I'm gonna
Yeah,
be
and so Rodick's like repeatedly shivving this zombie's like all that remains of this zombie is like it from its knee down.
I'm gonna look up. I thought I told you to put him into quarantine.
I think
I just look at
over the
Calorn.
private like your private squad comms, Gore. The corporal comes in. He's like, "This one's lost it."
I'm gonna stand up and look at them because he kind of sees him probably giving that look and say, "You don't get it."
On his ass.
I'm gonna take a step forwards and point at them. I'm gonna say that you don't get it. He's not something he's advertised, but he's some sort of Jedi. He's in my head. Tap on my helmet, and I'm gonna start walking forwards.
I think the corporal exchanges another look with you, Gore.
There are private comes to say stun him? Question mark.
Where are you walking?
We are.
I'm-
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorry.
Just walking towards him, trying to convince him that he is a serious threat.
So he's
So,
like,
Rodick.
sir, there's no one here.
There's no one there.
I'm
Like
sure
he
you heard
he
the legends
points.
of how the Jedi could get into your mind, make you do things, say things.
He's like, sir, you need to calm down. You're currently acting under the hallucination effects of the virus.
I'll be
You're
calm.
you're not well.
I'll be calm when the Jedi is in quarantine, I'll say, and I'm just gonna sound very nervous and say that the faster we can get out of here, the better. Keep an eye out for him, though.
Jedi's not here. He's on life support somewhere else.
You don't think that'd stop one of them, do you?
I asked Gore if that big gun has a stun setting.
You see that for normal comms? Yep. No, it does not. It is not stun.
Your riot gun does. It's meant for
The riot gun does, but not the EWEB, no.
I was gonna say, nonsense, you need me to be able to move. No one can crawl me out of here. Or drag me out of here. But we have to be vigilant.
Miss Reyla, where are you at right now?
So I think Reyla, you heard a crack up the corridor, like a good couple hundred yards. It sounded like some sort of explosion, and then about a minute later, Gore comes over the comms asking where you are. Yeah, you're not far away.
Your man is worse off than we thought.
Hand over the data pad, Rodick.
Why, Agent B? Are you to sell the information to someone?
I think Marlowe looks at you, Rodick, and he says, "Hand over the data pad, Rodick."
I'll hand over the data pad to Miss Farseeker when she gets here.
Yeah, Marlowe just casts like this look at you. You know, he crosses his arms. Like maybe it even doesn't even occur to you that Marlowe's standing there without like a vac suit, like staring at you.
Roddick's just gonna keep his shotgun kind of ready up in case any more zombies show up. But he has to be keeping an eye on other people. He's getting increasingly suspicious.
So I think
Black Ops might have bought Agent B off after all.
So Reyla, you arrive in the lobby, and you find them all here.
Permission to shoot Rodick.
Rodick, you turn around and you see Reyla walking into the room, and beside her, in full Sector Ranger regalia, with a grenade launcher, is Officer Chen.
I'm gonna kind of shake my head and say, that doesn't make any sense. Unless this whole thing was a setup from the start. I think I'm gonna rack my shotgun and walk towards Chen and say, "You didn't sell us out now, did you?"
So Rodick walks up to you, Reyla, but stops
behalf.
2 feet to your right and puts his shotgun to the air and starts having this conversation. He's not even looking at you. He's threatening the air.
Let me guess, Zen. They put us up to this after what happened to that all-powerful Sector Ranger officer. We were always expendable, weren't we?
I think he says, "Look, Rodick, some things are need to know. If you hadn't been demoted, you'd have known this. I'm a senior enforcement officer now. We got to do things a little off the books sometime. All you need to know is this operation is top secret, and we're here to tidy things up."
Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think it's top secret because we're selling out the Imperial Black Ops. I'm just gonna keep it. I'm gonna try and get right in Jin's face, and
he's like, "Whoa, now, Rodick, there's no need for that. We're all on the same side here."
Are we? I'm gonna look around for a second.
So what is everybody else doing?
I'm gonna try to pickpocket Rodick. He's having this conversation with Eric.
What are you trying to pickpocket?
I'm trying to get the damn data pad.
Okay. Let me take a look here.
DM info, it is on my utility belt pouch, one of the pouches I've expended that used to have other things in it that have since been used.
So, stealth would be pickpocket. $22. Is that what you're gonna keep?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see. I'm looking at the DCs. Rodick, roll a perception check. Normally you gain a +5 bonus. I'm gonna give you a -5 bonus.
That makes complete sense. I am currently having an argument with the air.
Okay, so yeah, you find the data pad on his belt. And you're able to snag it.
Alright. I snag it, and I hide it away for right now.
Okay. How about everybody else? Rodick is like threatening in the air. He doesn't seem to like even really be paying attention to you, Reyla.
He's gonna turn to Reyla and look back and say that, I think we have a problem. Find ourselves surrounded. I'm gonna look at everybody and say that, I think that probably Agent V is sold out to Imperial Intelligence, and Hal was clearly put on this mission for a reason. They want this virus. They're gonna unleash it on the universe. We can't trust them, Reyla.
I think on your private comms channel, Gore, the Corporal says, Gore, be casual about it. Don't attract any attention. Try to move in behind him. Ready that Espo gun. Set it for stun.
I try to do so stealthily.
Okay, yeah, so,
Do me to roll stealth?
yeah, go ahead. This is more of an overt, like, you're not moving in the shadows. It's more like you're in the background, and you're, like, maybe fidgeting here, taking a few steps there, and
Yep.
you're, like, you know, trying to work around to his blind side. You don't need to be precisely behind him. He's basically just inferring get to his side so you can maybe sneak attack him. Ooh, Private Gore. So, can you give me another perception roll, Rodick?
Got it, -5?
Yeah. Oh, wow. Was that at a minus? That looks like a +5.
No, it's -5.
There's a
and
-5
I'm
on the
trained
end.
in it.
Okay, all right. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. So, so you notice, I think you're having this conversation, you notice the Imperial with the big gun. He's moving around behind you. Like, he's trying to be casual about it, but, like, you can see his head's kind of tracking you a little bit, and he's got, like, it looks like he's slung his cannon, and he's like casually readied his riot blaster.
I think I'm going to try to casually turn my slinker around behind me as I lean into Raylan's.
So
And I'm
so
going
like
to
the thing on his
whisper-
shoulder goes and starts tracking you, Gore.
I'm gonna whisper, I'm gonna say, they're going to try and kill us and take the cure. We have to fight our way out of this. You've always been too trusting, Farseeker. Think about it. These have to be black ops.
So are you like backing away from everybody?
I'm like still trying to act, I'm like whispering to Reyla, trying to act casual while I'm getting ready to...
You're like whispering through your helmet, like
yeah,
over the helmet. Like you're whispering, but you're over helmet comms. Oh, that's so great.
yeah!
Everybody can hear this.
I can hear you, Rodick.
Yeah. So Rodick, what exactly are you doing in this situation? Like you've noticed the corporal trying to get around to your one side, but like if you let him, that'll put the private on, or the private's trying to get around one side, and that'll leave the corporal on the other, and like it looks like Reyla's next to you, and B was doing something nearby. Like, how did she get there? Like, they're all kind of spread out a little bit.
Reyla, I'm probably not gonna get out of this, but you're going to need to get this to command. Maybe you'll have to make a run on the turbos. I don't know. But I'm going to take reach into my belt to try to hand her both the comm pad and the data cylinder that I
Yeah.
received.
So the data pad is missing. B, were you looking? You said data pad when you were trying to go for the pickpocket. Did you mean the code cylinder or the data pad?
I meant the data pad because I didn't know we had a code cylinder.
Okay, so yeah, you reach and you find the code cylinder. The data pad is gone out of your pouch, though.
I will like almost try to sneakily thrust the data cylinder to Reyla, and then if Reyla takes it, I'm going to turn around and immediately pull up my shotgun and scream, "Who has the data pad?"
Take him down.
Yeah. Instead of in such close quarters, instead of shooting him, I punch him. For a
Ooh,
stun.
okay. Okay, you go for a stun punch.
Yeah, because you can stun with any melee
All right,
weapon that's not
roll for
vibro.
initiative.
Nice.
I think everybody needs to roll for initiative in this situation, even if you're not doing anything.
Initiative button. Where are you there? Uh-oh. Oh, I gotta hit that button to turn off the dex. That small thingy. But, 14.
I rolled 27.
Oh my God, Rodick.
Of course, Rodick acts first here.
Oh, poor Reyla.
Why do
Always
you
with
have
the
one-
ones.
Why do you have 2 initiatives, Reyla? I have Reyla Parziger initiative 23 and then 7.
I see that too.
Kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's rolling for turn order. I think it's because we matched, maybe? It's one said initiative and one said rolling.
Oh, because we don't have things.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. It's
That wouldn't
your
explain
first
why
roll
it
probably
clicked
is.
twice, though. We'll take your first initiative. I'm not sure why that happened. Private Gore, what did you roll?
14. It says 14.14 because I didn't uncheck the
Okay.
dex score. That's
Rayleigh, you rolled a 23. Corporal Calorn, where did my 20 go? That's not good. Rolled a 23 as well. I'll give the tie to the player, and Bunko rolled an 11. So, yeah, perhaps fatefully, Rodick, you go first. You see the private, like drop his gun to his side, and he starts to move towards you. I don't know what else everybody else is doing, but Rodick, what do you do?
I am going to raise my gauntlet up towards Private Gore, and I am going to also I'm going to declare him my primary defensive target, and I am going to fire a trank dart directly at him.
Oh boy.
From my my dart gun, flechette gun.
All right.
Oh God, here we go.
Let me see here. I'm gonna say, do you want to force point that, because I'm pretty sure you're close.
Is it melee?
Not yet. He was rushing towards him, but Rodick got the initiative first. He's like point blank, but it's still not melee range.
Yeah, you know what? Rodick's convinced this is real. He'll force point it. That's correct. Wait, what?
With your force point, you roll twice and take better at level 8.
Oh! Well, that was good. 3 is fine.
So,
22 is not good enough. I have 23.
Oh, so the dart, I think it skirts along your helmet, and it like leaves it a shrieking trail beneath your visor. Reyla, Private Gore moves for Rodick. Rodick raises his arm and fires a dart right at Private Gore. What do you do? Does Vital Transfer say anything about the subject being willing or unwilling? Yeah, let's see here. Core 100. Vital Transfer. You use your own one creature touch, so you're going to have to actually grab him. Rodick, would you be grabbed willingly at this point?
Probably not.
All right,
maybe
so
you could try.
so you're gonna have to make a touch attack on him, and it's not even gonna be like a tap. You have to hold him basically. I don't imagine that you can like tap a pinky against him, and that's the duration of Vital Transfer. You're gonna have to like actually grab a hold of him for a few seconds. So this will be your dex plus your bab. This is all about dex. Like if you can actually grab a hold of him. You're not like trying to drag him to the ground or anything. You're literally just trying to hold on to him. Not really applying strength to it. I don't think a 10 beats your score. So yeah, you go to try to grab Rodick and he slips out of the way. Maybe you catch like a very slight amount of his armor and he dodges out of the way. The Corporal attempts to shoot Rodick with a stun blaster, but a stun blast nonetheless.
I don't blame him. I think I'm really hoping that I get taken out before I end up killing anybody. Out of character. In character, they're all out to get me, damn it.
Does a 26 hit you?
Let me tell you. From somebody other than Private Gore, yes.
Alright. Right, you take only 7 stun damage.
Copy that.
So that
I'll
doesn't
mark
break
that
through
down.
that doesn't break through his threshold. So he takes like what, half of that, and he doesn't take a. Does he take a condition track for just being hit? Okay, all right. So yeah, you only take 3 points of damage, and you've got damage resistance too, don't you?
3. Does that count?
Yeah, damage resistance works. So yeah, you take no damage. You shrug off the blast, and I think you hear the Corporal like curse something about like Iotran armor. Private Gore, there's been a stun bolt fired. There's been a dart fired at you. What's going on?
I'm gonna attempt to grapple Rodick.
Okay, let me bring up the grapple rules real quick. I think this is going to be under special combat rules. Nope. It's going to be under types of actions. Grapple. Grapple attack is an improved version of the grab attack. We're not doing the pin trip feet thing. You can only grab an opponent up to one size category larger than you, one size smaller. Unarmed attack. So yeah, go ahead and give me an unarmed attack. Actually, there's a grapple button, isn't there? Why is it?
Yes.
Is that the same formula?
Otherwise, like the same.
Might
Okay.
get a bonus for being bigger though, so it's actually be 5 points higher. Yeah, because I have +9 on attack and 14 on grapple.
Okay. And that's automatically applied in your grapple button, right?
Yeah, but that's not what I rolled. I rolled
Okay,
standard
right.
attack.
In the future, we will ignore what this thing says,
Okay.
and we'll just roll grapple. Rodick, click the grapple check button for me.
Absolutely. Let me find it. Never had hit that before. Found it.
Ooh, wow. So yours is 5 points higher, Gore. So
23.
23. Would you like to use a force point?
Yes, I would.
Okay. So,
Nice.
so 27. However, does dodge apply to this? I'm tempted to say maybe. Like, otherwise, why would you have a dodge bonus?
Oh wait, I declared him my target, so my rep
Yeah,
defense
you
is
did.
too higher. So my rep
You
defense
did.
is-
So you don't. This is normally not an attack against defense. This is a curious example of, like, I don't know if the rules touch on this.
It's a straight grapple contested check, and it ignored my ref defense bonus. I don't know if it would apply or not.
Well,
I'll leave
it's
that
an
entirely to you.
opposed check.
Yeah, it's an
So-
opposed check, but he.
Notably,
not
I did this
armor
because
class,
I don't
it's-
think I could hit his armor class at all.
He is trying to dodge you. I'm
Declared
gonna
dodge
say
and
for a
martial art one
grapple.
against you, but I don't know if that matters.
For a grapple, I would. How does everybody feel about adding a dodge bonus to a grapple? Like, it doesn't make sense that, like, because the opponent chose of all things not to do an
There
attack,
is not
instead
a
he
whole
tried
lot
to
of
grab you,
things
you
that
wouldn't
add to
get.
grapple in general.
Yeah. That's true, but it also makes that dodge feel
All right,
worthless
so
somebody
if he
just come
can
up
do
and
that,
grab
can I
you.
apply my extreme effort to it, even though it's not technically a strength check? It goes both ways. That would give me another +5.
This is why I hate this rule set. If it wasn't so close, this would. All right, yeah, you grab him. I think this is bringing up a significant flaw in the system, but yeah, you grab him. So yeah, you are now grappled, Rodick. And you have a hold over him, Private Gore. You're like grabbing him by like the shoulders or the breastplate or something.
Probably with like bear hugging him.
Oh yeah, you're going for like the full Wookiee hug then.
Notably, he can probably still shoot me with his slinker, but
He can try. Bunko, what are you doing?
I'm gonna walk over and shoot him point blank in the head in its stun setting.
Oh god. Yeah, I do thought Bunko would probably end up
So
shooting me.
he is held. I don't know if this is helpless. Let me read this again.
I think he still have to fire into melee. It might transfer and hit Private Gore some, maybe.
That's
I don't
true.
know.
Until it breaks grab, a grab creature takes -2 penalty on attack rolls. Additionally, it cannot move until it breaks the grab. And the grab is standard action. Grapple. It doesn't say what this does to defense. Obviously, it should do something, but you're also in melee. Huh. Walking right up to him and putting the gun to his head should be a thing you should be able to do. But I can't decide whether it would be harder or easier given that he's in melee.
Well, he's grappled, so he has. Gore
I would
has
think we're kind of
control
wrestling around.
Yeah. Yeah. My point is his head's still moving around, his body's still moving around. Gore's imagine like two sumo wrestlers or something. They're like constantly shifting. You can do it, and I think it will be flat roll. It would be at a negative for the into the melee, like him shifting around and you potentially accidentally shooting your friend, but that negative is flattened out by the fact that you're trying to put your gun up to his head. Yeah. Jesus, this rule set. Just go ahead and make an attack roll. We'll see how it pans out. So with a +5 bonus, that would be a 22. What would your flat-footed reflex score there be, Rodick?
Let me tell you. My flat-footed reflex score is 21.
Force point, Ronco.
So,
A lot of damage if you actually did hit.
Alright, I'll give you a +5 to the attack roll because he's being grappled. I don't think it's quite that simple, but again, this is something that's really messy within the rules. So that would be a hit. However, what is the stun damage on your Ascension gun?
Like, same way damage.
Is it 3d8 or is it lower? Most guns have a stun setting that's slightly lower than their lethal damage.
No, it's the same.
Okay, alright, so Rodick, you take 20 points of stun damage right to the head. Rodick, what is your threshold?
Oh yeah, that probably blows my threshold. Let me see.
It might
can't be
not.
Right? My threshold's not 25, is it?
That sounds right. You're a pretty buff dude.
Yeah, I have a 25 threshold, so what do I take?
So you just take half. You take 10 points of damage.
Is that -3 before or after that? Or?
It's after.
Okay.
I don't take your armor into account. I always tell you the raw score.
Got it. Awesome. Perfect set.
All right, so Rodick takes a stun blast to the helmet and like maybe jolts and refuses to go down. Rodick, it's once again your turn. B has walked up and put a gun to your head and fired, and like your brain is just frying right now. What do you do?
Open your eyes, Fire Seeker! We're gonna fight for our lives here! And I'm going to spin around and I am going to try to
Now keep in mind you are being held by Gore.
Oh yeah, definitely aware of that. I am going to oh boy, let me see here what I can do, because there's two options I have. I'm trying to think.
You can't move until you break the grapple. You can make other attacks, but they'll be at a penalty. Unless they're a natural or light weapon. I would think your shoulder-mounted weapon would count for that. So you wouldn't have an attack penalty for your shoulder-mounted weapon. But anything else, you would have an attack penalty on.
Yeah, I was trying not to kill anybody, but alas, that's probably.
You might not get an attack penalty for a wrist-mounted weapon either.
If I get hit with my wrist-mounted weapon, I am probably going to try to see if, while I'm being grappled, if I can just fire a dart wherever I'm being held on that arm and just hit him wherever I can hit him.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense to me. Yeah, you want to make another dart attack on Private Gore?
Yeah, I will make another dart attack.
Would you care to force point that?
You know, honestly,
You're so close.
force points are kind of like the force guiding your destiny, right?
No. The Force is like, you don't have to know you're using the Force. That's the thing.
Okay, so it's something you are
the Force is like
you are actually doing. It's not like an external force that's saving you, essentially.
It's like some people think of it as luck. Some people think of it as like extreme skill. Most people don't know when they're using it.
Since I don't know. Good. Oh. Oh, awesome! Perfect. Got it. Yeah, I'm gonna drop a point.
Okay. It basically represents you trying really hard and accidentally tapping into the Force. You don't know you're doing it, it's just out of desperation. Does a 24 hit Private Gore?
Either one, yes.
Oh, wow.
Assuming he doesn't get a negative on for
Nope.
being grappled.
Nope, not for a wrist gun. I can't, in good conscience, apply a negative to a wrist gun. Like, it seems actually kind of ideal for this situation.
I guess that's true.
Good hit's a hit, doesn't matter, Todd.
Yeah, it's a hit. So you take 7 points of damage, and if the target is successfully struck, they must make an endurance check, DC 15, or be paralyzed for 1d3 hours. I think I probably should change that to it should make an attack upon their fortitude. But we wrote this before we actually played the game and really knew how things work.
Oh yeah, I'm totally down for adjusting it if you need to. I mean,
I won't adjust it now, but we'll go ahead with the endurance check and I'll adjust it later. Oh yeah, you just make it.
Oh man.
So
rolled a
you
5.
get hit with this dart, and you can start to feel this this poison coursing through you. Yeah, definitely in the future. Now that I'm thinking about it, an endurance check is way too easy for the defender to just make for a poison dart. So we'll be doing that as an attack against fortitude in the future. So yeah, you managed to get a dart in there, but like the beast that is grappling you just does not go down. Reyla, what do you do? Okay, this will definitely be easier. Go ahead and make your dex roll with a +5. I think a 19 is a 20 your flat-footed, Rodick?
Let me tell you 1 second. 21 is my flat-footed.
Oh yeah, so you definitely can't get a hold of him and like grab him long enough for vital transfer. You're trying, but it's not working. The corporal moves forward. Does he have a stun weapon on here that's not? No, he wouldn't have a stun baton. He would have chucked that after fighting the zombies. I think he goes and he like. There's already 2 people grabbing, like 3 people essentially grabbing him. B's got his hand up. So I think what the corporal does is he takes a stance and like starts covering the exits. Gore, your turn.
I continue grappling him. I don't think I can do anything else unless I can make a headbutt attack or something.
Yeah, like you're grappled. You could like try to make some sort of other strength-related check. Like if you wanted to like hurl him to the ground and tackle him, or if you wanted to headbutt him or something.
I'll make my unarmed attack.
Okay.
By kicking at his leg.
All right. I won't give you a benefit because this is going to be while you're kind of distracted. You're gonna like shin kick him. He's your dodge target, right?
Yeah, that is.
Can he
my
dodge
target,
if I'm grappling him?
Martial arts, probably, but maybe not dodge. I don't know. It's up to you, Star.
Huh.
You get a +1 from martial arts and a +1 from dodge. I'm okay with however you guys want to do that. I don't care if the rules break. I'm like, whatever Star thinks in this case, I'm down with.
God, we're really coming up on the edge of the rules here, like so many times. I think. Like, all right, this would be my argument. If somebody was holding you, and somebody else was coming at you with a knife, and this person was not holding you like pinned down to the ground or to a wall, but like they were attempting to like grapple your arms, you would still argue that you would have some sort of opportunity to like sidestep and like move the entanglement out of the way of the knife or something, right?
I think that would make some sense.
Probably.
I mean,
I think for attacks made within a grapple, dodge will apply. So yeah, I think it doesn't hit. Like you smack into him. It's not like you just miss, but it just doesn't. It's not like enough to get through his armor or anything. Bunko.
Shoot another stun shot at his head.
Okay, give me another +5. 23, I think that's a hit. Rodick, you take another 19, cut in half.
And you have a condition track -1 by question mark. Because I aimed this time.
What happened?
You automatically take -1 condition track. Does he aim
Yeah,
and hit
so
you?
if he's got Hunter's Mark, as long as he aims, as long as he hits you, you get -1. So, yeah, you didn't blow past the threshold, but you do get another -1 on your condition track, Rodick, and you get shot in the head again. So you take half of 19. So, excuse me, we'll round that down to 9.
Okay, so 15 after damage reduction. 15. I didn't mean to say that. Yeah, okay, and since I take one condition, that makes me at -5 then, since it drops me from -2, what I was already at. That puts me at -3.
It drops you down 1.
Okay, so I'm at -5. Got it. Yeah,
Well,
that's not
if you're at
definitely
-2, it would drop you to -3.
No, the condition
It
goes
accelerates.
-1, -2, -5, -10, help.
Oh, okay.
So I am at -5
Rodick?
right now.
Yeah, go ahead. Things are starting to get woozy.
I'm gonna try to break out of this grapple that's getting me ass kicked. Do I roll a contested grapple, or how does that work?
Yeah. We both roll, or you and Gore roll grapple now.
Wow, that did have.
Wow,
-5.
Gore.
Holy crap.
Gore does not have good rolls. Jesus, Gore.
Not today.
I don't know, better than me.
It did take a -5 out of the condition track. I was
Yeah,
curious
he
about
just
that.
rolled a 19 and I rolled a 4.
Yeah, and Rodick's no like punker in terms of strength either. He might not be Gore, but he's pretty strong. So Rodick, you break the grapple. Like you.
I think it might be your action though to break it.
Yeah, you shove him backwards, and I think you like stumble back away from him. Reyla, what do you do? Are you trying to grab him again or what? Okay. All right, so this time it'll be made at your normal difficulty. Oh, I saw one there for a second. Unfortunately, unfortunately, he's not even flat-footed. Do you want to roll? I think you're close. Let me look to make sure you're within range. Definitely don't want to offer you a force point and have it be outside of your range.
Really don't want to have it.
What is his flat foot? Because he does have another.
No, he's not grappled though.
I will say
but
that.
he has a lower flat foot now because of condition.
Yeah,
Oh,
my reflex
21
defense is
21
also
is a
lower.
hit now.
That matches now. Yeah, I was gonna
It's not flat foot. Flat foot doesn't matter. His reflex score is lower though.
My whole score is down, so that is actually a hit now.
So yeah, Rodick, you get grabbed from behind, and Reyla, you want to give me a vital transfer roll? This could be very important.
Oh! Oh, I'm bad.
A 3.
Oh.
You could give him health points if you want. Yeah, unfortunately. Is that something you can choose to abort? Okay. Okay. All right. So there's this. Reyla grabs you, and you feel a weird tingling sensation through your body, and you feel something weird with your mind, almost, Rodick. I don't know how Rodick's gonna respond to that. Corporal Calorn tries to shoot Rodick because he's now out in the open again. You hear him cursing. Rodick, does a 29 hit? I think it.
Oh yeah,
it does.
Yes, it does.
Wow, his stun damage is just terrible. Rodick, you take after that's halved, that's 4 points of stun.
1 damage.
Yep,
Holy
1
crap.
damage. Private Gore.
I attempt to rush and punch him with a charge attack.
Okay, you're just gonna like try to like knock him out.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. This is what happens when you guys like fight the guy who's built to be a tank. It's very nasty.
It's good I was like at a third of my health and already -2 down the condition tracker. This could have been really, really bad.
That's a hit.
Is 19
Nice.
higher than your threshold?
His threshold is
Alright,
still higher.
okay. Okay, my dealt damage, so as a free action, I get to make a second unarmed attack versus his fort to knock him prone.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, nice.
Okay, I got my amount. I'll play the hits. Oh, come on. That is a hit.
So you punch him like right in the jaw, and he stumbles backwards, not falling back, and you're like, wow, this being can take a beating. And then Gore comes back with like a left hook right under the jaw, and Rodick is just sent sprawling on his back. No damage from that second one, Rodick, but
Yeah.
you are knocked prone.
So the first one that does rounded down on,
The first one is half rounded down because it's stun.
so 9, okay.
Yep. So another 9 minus your armor. Bunko, Gore has just whacked Rodick right to the ground, but he's still moving.
I'm gonna aim and shoot again.
Oh God.
What modifier does this have?
It's so hard to determine whether they should get... Right, so he's prone, but he's not far away. He's knocked on his ass. Yeah, go with that.
And that cause another condition track.
Ooh.
It might blow through his threshold.
I think that might have actually hit my threshold now, because my threshold's been lowered. Yes,
Yeah.
it did.
All right, so
Oh,
Rodick...
helpless.
-3
Yep.
on your condition track.
Rodick is knocked unconscious.
I am knocked you helpless, and let me change my hit points. 23 halved and rounded down. That puts me below
If it
0.
if it breaks the threshold, is the stun damage still halved? Okay. Ah, that's true.
Oh, that's funny because actually, even without that, it put my hit points at exactly 0.
Oh boy. So yeah, with like one last, I think maybe B walks up and like with one last stun blast shoots Rodick like right in the neck.
One
Like,
thing, B, I think as you watched up, you see Roddick's hand as he gets knocked unconscious, and he has a finger in every one of the rings of his fag grenades. That was gonna be his next move.
Oh god.
Oh man. It was a funny as hell battle from this perspective. I was just rooting for you guys to take me down, but I was just not going down. It was really hilarious.
B actually inside enjoyed that.
I think B was owed shooting me unconscious at least once. I think she might be owed another even.
So Rodick's there, lying unconscious, and I think the corporal's like got his hand to his helmet. He's just shaking his head. He's like, "What a disaster." Does anybody have binder cuffs? Rodick, do you have binder cuffs on you?
I believe I still have my stun cuffs on me, right?
I
I
think-
think I got them back again, so...
I think the corporal goes and starts to hook the stun cuffs up to you.
Stun remote, like, faded out on it, so the stun remote wasn't working, but the cuffs still work, so yeah. That's
Yep.
what I've got on me.
Yeah, so he starts hooking you up to the stun
If you
cuffs.
took damage, you have a breach, right? Is that how this works?
Lethal damage would be a breach.
Like his
if
flechette
it's like-
thingy.
Like, yeah, getting shot with a pistol or something like that.
Yeah, the stun dart.
The dart itself doesn't do stun damage though. It's the paralyzing thing. The dart itself actually does.
Yeah, it does do lethal damage, so yeah.
Yeah. So let me roll an attack against your fortitude. I guess it's going to be. How did I do this? I'm going to be making a roll to determine if you actually got an armor breach, like a serious one.
By the way, Star, remind me tomorrow or later tonight or whenever we get a chance to rewrite the stun dart however you think it should be with the fortitude defense.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. So maybe this is ironic. I think you're looking down, like maybe your race's like inherent rage is fading a little bit and color is returning back to your vision. It's no longer red, and you notice that there's like a little pop-up on the side of your helmet, and you look over and it says suit breach, and it's like it's highlighting your left arm. You look over and there's this tiny dart sticking out from your wrist, like it wormed its way between two plates, and yeah, like of all the things on this ship that have you've survived against, and like there's been times where like zombies were crowding against you, a little stun dart is what finally compromised your suit. You do have a suit rupture.
So I would probably clap a hand over it and be like, and just put some liquid cable on it, I guess.
Yeah, you get your little liquid cable dispenser. It's like kind of a hot glue gun almost. You just start spraying it over. I think the corporal moves over and he's like, "Damn, sorry, Gore. We'll get that sealed up." And yeah, he turns around, he looks down at Rodick, and he's like, "What are we gonna do with him?"
Fort was actually my highest defense.
I don't know that we can lug him through the corridors. Like, I'm surprised we're not already crawling with those things. We must have taken most of them out earlier on this level.
I don't know if somebody would need to make an intelligence check to realize it, but you might be able to fire off my suit's repulsors to help carry me. Just something to think about. I think I've tested them. I think those were supposed to be reset and work. I don't know. It'll be up to Star, but just throwing it out there. Not sure if it occurred to anybody anyway.
So what do you guys do? You're standing there in the aftermath of this fight. There's still like a pile of zombie body parts nearby.
We should probably get back to the med bay. The computer there might be able to help you analyze the data.
I'm afraid your friend doesn't have time though. If we're to go back to the bay and analyze this data, it better have a cure. If it doesn't, he shakes his head. If he's already in this stage with the delusions, he's getting pretty close. So you're taking the data pad. Like, what are you looking at? Because there are two things on him. He had a code cylinder, and he had a data pad.
I hand Reyla the data pad.
So, the data pad is like pops up as Imperial Intelligence registered, like Commander Melness. It's requiring like a password entry. The code cylinder, where is his name? Carries the data and registration information of one Captain Rajar Karas of the Imperial Navy. It seems to be Commander's command codes. Yeah, it's his authentication device.
With these, well, how much do you weigh, Rodick?
Maybe not with ease.
If he's
How
under,
much I weigh?
if you're under 120 or 220 pounds, I can carry you.
So
I
Rodick,
weigh
Or kilograms.
46.1 kg.
that's your equipment load. That's not your body.
Yeah, that's my equipment load. That's true.
Let me take a look at something.
No, Originals are slightly larger than humans. I know they don't qualify for larger than medium, but I know they're like a little bit bulkier. I don't know how much that would translate to.
I can find this.
Oh, that's cool. Actually, they remind me a lot of the Another World / Out of This World aliens. They remind me a lot of them every time I see them.
Iotrin. Oh, that's disappointing. They're supposed to typically give you like body size index, like for your average race, but I guess they didn't do that in Ultimate Alien Anthology.
Yeah. Iotrans are, I just looked at it, 175 meters.
So I'm estimating Rodick would probably weigh about 80 to 85 kilograms on his own without his gear. That's like around 180 pounds. You might be
That's
more,
fine.
you might be less. So yeah,
He's
you
still
can still
less than
carry him.
220. Yeah.
That's great. Your character's awesome. Just throwing Rodick under one arm. Wow.
Yep, along with his other armaments. So yeah, you pick Rodick up. Do you start proceeding like afterwards to the rear section of the ship where supposedly like this lockdown section is?
Thought we were going back to the med bay. Okay. Guess we're going afterward.
I think I think the corporal is in like the middle of talking on his headset. Obviously, like you can't hear him. Gore, you know, he's like reporting back to the lieutenant about like what's been going on, and he just pauses and he's like, "Wait, what do you mean? There's somebody with a lightsaber back there?" I think he once again he shares another look with Private Gore, and like nobody else can hear this, but Gore, you can hear it because he's reporting over like the command frequency back to the to your base. He's like, "Sir, we might have an additional complication aside from the crazy Iotrim. One of the sector rangers is claiming there might be a Sith or a Jedi back here. I don't know what's going on." I think maybe we'll end a little bit early for tonight and end it here. It seems like probably a good place.
Oh god, poor friggin' Rodick coming in at 0 hit points right now. 0 on the dot.
Actually, with that in mind, Rodick, I need you to make a roll.
Oh.
Rodick, can you please make a DC 10 Constitution check after 1 minute to see if you regain consciousness while they're carrying you away?
Oh god. Okay.
Now you're not going to die if you fail this because you were knocked unconscious by pure stun weapons. You got a -5. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's according to the sheet. So yeah, Rodick doesn't wake up. That means he will be unconscious for the next hour, unless somebody tries to wake him up with medicine. Oh, Rodick.
Notably, I was healed within the same day or whatever too, so I don't know if anyone could even do a med tech check on me today, which sucks.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I thought you rolled a nat 20. I was like, yes, I'm cured. Then I was like, oh.
I'm not cured. Yeah, it's reasonably possible for you to potentially do this with your force cure, but you have been rolling shit.
That was the funniest.
Is there like a
friggin',
limit to prevent you from rolling the force cure over again, or not?
And that friggin' like.
Well, normally the limit is you have to cost your own hit points, right?
I don't know if that's cheesing it, given that's probably like your entire level's worth of force points. But yeah, good session. That was really hilarious. You guys attacking Rodick.
Rodick attacking
Rodick.
himself in several instances. The grenades were
Yeah.
definitely very funny.
Oh God, I know I just blew a 400 credit grenade, but I figured that's what I would.